Married for 2 years. I was abused by Chen Ji for 2 years. Divorce is mentioned every time. Was tortured by his endless beatings. He was admitted to the hospital again. When you wake up, I successfully bound the famous anti-riot alliance system. The anti-riot hero Lu Jishan inside. Half a year later, he had all his teeth replaced with dentures, standing in the courtroom and pointing at me. Tears broke down in my eyes. Accused me of domestic violence against him. He's going to divorce me. I said to my husband, in the gentlest tone. Before, the Sprinkle family begged you for a divorce. You said that you can't live this life until you die. Now, the Sprinkler family is reluctant. I don't see you for a day. The Sprinkle family has gone bad. The Sprinkle family doesn't want to leave. The top 3 hot searches of the day. When confronted with domestic violence, the best way is to call back and get a divorce. The domestic violence man's winter is alone and mighty. The 3rd time I mentioned divorce was kicked down the stairs by Chen Ji, fell and suffered a head injury and a cerebral hemorrhage on the occasion of a coma. I finally succeeded in binding the 4 great Chinese classics. Anti-Blast Alliance System. The character Lu Jishan that I have been thinking about for a long time. After a month of intensive care unit treatment, 0.3 months of rehabilitation, I was finally able to be discharged from the hospital. As I gear up, my girlfriend still said, she has all the evidence ready. Chen Ji can be prosecuted for intentional injury. This time, the divorce is definitely possible. You can also get a large amount of civil compensation. I waved my hand and said slowly, let the Sprinkler family call back first. He hate Lao Tu so many times, apologize for divorce, and lose some money. Lucky enough to lock him up for a few more days. It's too civilized, isn't it? My best friend was pleasantly surprised when she heard the words, and you were successfully bound. Lu Jing was not surprised. 2 months ago, I was beaten by Chen Ji, and my nose was blue, and my face was swollen. When you can't see anyone, my girlfriend is still rushing to talk to me. His cousin was engaged in the development of the original universe abroad. They felt characters in the 4 great Chinese novels. It covers the combat effectiveness of all walks of life and all angles. For example, Sunday Wukong's team, the best at subduing demons and catching demons. You can even bring your own bait. 3 Kingdoms, Zhuge Liang team, and the Sima Yi's team is very powerful. Super combat effectiveness. First choice for group combat. The 108 heroes in the water margin are anti-terrorism and anti-riot YY deeds. As for Dream of Red Mansions, Royal Sister Green Tea Talent Female Hottie, BLM Workplace. Tea here is always a perfect fit, so they lasted 3 years. One of China's 4 famous novels has been developed. Anti-Riot Alliance System. Each person can bind 1 to 3 characters, inherit their skills, 100,000 per character. The cost is still a family and friend rate. I had a lot of money. Just chose a hero. I don't know if it's because the adaptability is too low or the technology is immature. Bound for half a month. The system still doesn't start. At one point, I suspected that I had been deceived. I sent an email directly to my cousin, who was easy to die. Ask for a refund. During this period, I really can't stand Chen Zi and his strange opinions. Moved out of the Chen family. I found a divorce lawyer again. The petition for divorce was again filed with the court. Who knows, the day Chen Ji received the court summons, he blocked me at the staircase of my rented apartment, slapped me twice, fly up, and kick me down the stairs. I want to divorce, unless Lao Tzu's dead. There has never been only Lao Tzu who dumps people. No one dares to dump Lao Tzu. Zishan Chenzi's mother and son came to pick you up and were discharged from the hospital. Yai Ren's face turned slightly pale. He has seen Chen Ji's ruthlessness more than once. He once slapped out a tooth of mine in front of Yi Ran. His taekwondo red belt level. It played to me, to the fullest. I smiled and said, don't be afraid. They won't pick me up if you go first. I'd like to call them to answer it. Yi Ran nodded. Before leaving, he looked back at me with peace of mind. I winked at him, gestured with a V. He gestured to make a phone call. He smiled hard at the corners of his mouth. Reluctantly left. Ichiran just left. My mother-in-law, who was well informed, brought her son with her. Zishan Xiaosh came to pick you up and discharged you. This time I am going to have to be obedient. Don't lose your temper. Our old Chen family treats their daughter-in-law as a daughter. You are hurt like this. Mom is distressed. My mother-in-law held my hand. I was moved to wipe a handful of tears from the corners of my eyes. Yes? The question is, my sister-in-law once cried at the Chinese New Year's Eve dinner. The family never treated him as a man. Chen Ji is dressed up with a graceful demeanor. Pack my bags. Help me get into the car. Even the nurses sighed that Sister Dao Zixin was really a blessing. I nodded frequently. The smile is very gentle. The whole time I was moving my hands and feet. Chen Ji's mother and son thought that I was still continuing my rehab training. Strong to say, Zixin, don't worry. Don't worry. Take your time. You are not in a hurry. But the family is in a hurry. It's been a long time since I've beaten someone. Itchy hands, come home at night, and take a shower. I just thought my body hadn't recovered yet. Moved to the guest room and went to sleep. In the middle of the night, I slept soundly. The body sank. Someone was pressed under him and groped. I woke up. Suddenly. When I opened my eyes, I saw that it was Chen Ji. I couldn't help but punch it out. Crazy output. How dare you touch the house? I'll let you touch it. I'll let you touch it. Lao Zhou couldn't find an excuse to beat Chen Ji. He's so good. Take the initiative to deliver it to your door. I have to say, this voice, brother, is really easy to use. Chen Ji was hit by me for the first time, and his nose was blue, and his face was swollen. I also kicked my lower body. Thought we were newlywed. Haven't bothered me all the time. Threw Chen Ji out of the door. Keep sleeping. Early the next morning, my mother-in-law came to me to settle accounts. Zixin, I didn't say you. How can you beat Xiaoji so hard? Why don't you go out and meet people? I didn't even see that you were so ruthless. Your son has beaten me so many times. The nose and face are all light. Married for 2 years. I was hospitalized 3 times. Another time was in the ICU. Who do you say is ruthless? But it's not yet time for the final confrontation. I suppressed my anger and smiled. Oops! It turned out that it was my husband who hit me last night. I thought there was a burglar in my house. Naturally. It is to fight to the death. Don't be surprised. Next time I'll play when I see it clearly. The mother-in-law reluctantly left. I had a fun day. First, discovery. It turns out that the air in this home is also quite fresh. Chen Ji's face was swollen like a pig's head. The potion is coated with red willow green. Took a few days off work to recuperate. Keep your distance from me. Secretly, observe me from time to time. I didn't bother to pay attention to him. Continue to speculate on stocks and earn some pocket money. He did whatever he wanted. As long as you don't bother the house. It's been about half a month. Came back from work one day. He's noticeably different. Full of spring breeze, eyebrows, and smiles. It's clear that it's spring. Came back late in the evening and didn't say anything. And you called your colleague in front of me. Flirting. Isn't this looking for a draw? Even if you are the only man left in the universe. The Sprinkler family doesn't even look at you. Who knows? He's angry with me. He actually flirted with a female neighbor in front of me. The point is that the female neighbor still enjoys it a little. Nima was completely disgusted to Sa's house. Needless to say, the beating is open. This can be regarded as a tribute to his newlywed first beating. I still remember the second month of my wedding. Because I gave it to the takeaway guy who fell and injured himself. A band-aid was slapped by Chen Ji and fell to the ground. Band-aid, he won't buy it himself. Or rather, you think that delivery guy looks pretty good, Chen Jeppy said, with a smile. What are you talking about? He fell to deliver food to us. It's just a band-aid. Nothing. I think he is so jealous that he can't explain it. The slut hook up person still doesn't admit it. Who knew that the next second, he would turn pale, trembling all over, shouted such a sentence. Then, a big mouth hit, knocked me to the ground. Beat up. I was in a state of confusion the whole time. I didn't react at all to why I was beaten. After that, I went back to my parents' house and filed for divorce. Chen Ji and his mother came to my house twice in 3 days to make amends. I said Chen Ji, because he loved me too much. That's why I am so excited. My dad and Chen Ji's mom are old classmates. When I saw it, I almost kowtowed. Chen Ji's mother said to me, Jishan, leave a line in everything. Don't overdo it. You can't afford to get down on his knees. Anyway, he is an elder, after all. You just give Chen Ji another chance. Next time he'll do it again. I will not spare him. My mom told me in a serious voice. Chen Jiren is still good. Your brother's job was solved by someone else. The bride price was given 600,000 yuan. It's magnanimous. We can't find a second one in Jiangqing. Men have a little temper. It's good to cooks. People can give steps. Let's go back. Hi, To the end. It seems that I am still wrong. Chenji, in front of my parents. Get down on one knee. Hold a large bouquet of roses to make amends. Everyone persuaded him to go back. What couples fight at the head of the bed, and at the end of the bed. Beating is kissing. Scolding is love, and so on. Even my brother said, "Sister, don't make a fuss. My brother-in-law is on my knees. Go back. Although you are wrong, alone." I went back. However, domestic violence and cheating are really brothers. Only 0 times, and countless times. Remembering this incident, I was annoyed. Raising his fist and punching him in the eye socket was a punch. The eyes of the dragon and the phoenix are cracked. Beads burst out. Give him a lottery. The red, the black, and the purple all stood out. My mother-in-law rushed over screaming. I sat on the couch and watched the fight. Chenji's usual fist-embroidered legs was completely suppressed under the force of Lu Jishan. Stop harassing in front of the family. See once, beaten once. Look at not cripple you. Chen Zhouqi's face turned blue. I rushed over with all my strength. I punched me in the temple. Made a full hall mist inversion for him. The valves buzzed together. That's when the doorbell rang. The mother-in-law ran over to open the door, like crazy. Yo, I called the police. By the time the 2 policemen arrived, it was nearing the end. I was very puzzled, and looked unharmed. Not even a single fold of the clothes was exposed. Looked at Shenji, who was lying on the ground, and couldn't bear to look at him directly. Asked who hit it, or fell on his own. Chen Zei was excited. Spit out a mouthful of bloody saliva. Contains 1 tooth. His mouth whined, and he said, "Are you blind? Someone can fall like this." The faces of the 2 policemen changed, and they were about to have a seizure. Shenji was busy talking about comrade police. "He's been blinded by this lot. I am sorry." Then, he pointed at me and burst into tears. "It's him. The poisonous woman. Beat my son, like this." I calmly poured 2 glasses of water. Handed to the 2 policemen. "We are just talking to each other as a husband and wife. You've worked hard to make a trip. These 2 cops are our film cops here. One has the surname Kai. One surname is Xie. Thanks to Chen Ji. He's been to my house quite a few times." Hearing this, the 2 policemen took the water glass, looking at the huge photo frame of Chen Ji's taekwondo red belt in the living room. A look of disdain that could not be concealed. Officer Kai slowly took a sip of the Waterway Brothers. "I can't get home. If you can't beat it, call the police. It's a loss of martial virtue." Chen Jia's face was swollen and red. Shame and indignation. Grunted angrily. "You are mistaken. Comrade, policeman. They are not martial arts. It's this cheap Lu Jiashan. He abused my son. Comrade, policeman. You must call the shots for us." My mother. In. He almost knelt down. "You can rest assured, Auntie. If this is true, we will take it seriously." Police officer. Sha looked around. Question. "I've been here before." I smiled and nodded. "You've not only been here. I've been here quite a few times. I remember the first few times I was beaten up by a lady. Now it's a man. I almost didn't recognize it." "Well, the lady you are talking about is down there." "You've practiced martial arts." I was humble. "I just spent money to buy a plug in. It's not really a skill. It's good. Next time it's lighter. Let's get to the point. Look at how you beat people. I can't even see what it looks like." Officer Kai came over and said, "Yes, that's right. Gotta criticize you. Seriously. Let's not take this as an example." Then push the water glass. The 2 of them are about to leave with Officer Sha. My mother-in-law and Chen Ji are crazy. "Hey, how did you go?" "That's it," Officer Kai said. "It's the same way to deal with it before. Here is nothing wrong with that." My mother-in-law puffed up and said, "No. He hit my son. I am not done with him." Comrade, policeman. A woman dares to beat her own man. Lawlessness. Arrest him and hold him for a few days. I remember that Chen Ji beat me with a blue nose and swollen face. When you can't move. That's what my mother-in-law said to the police. Since ancient times, it has been difficult for Xing officials to cut off family affairs. Comrade policeman, don't be foolish. At that time, the police criticized Chen Ji after educating him. My mother-in-law smiled and sent the police away. Even the police, who are good at me, must also respect Chinese traditions. It's not Xixin, Shao, Joe is not very good tempered. Don't always irritate him in the future. Look at what he's beating. Tut. Tut. Ma, looking distressed. I feel sorry for your uncle. When Chenzi hit me, you are hiding in your room. Turn the television up to the fullest. Pretend not to hear. Then wait until the fight is over. And then come out to call for heaven and earth. Stage the deep love between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. The Oscar statuette is not willing to take a step. Don't lose the past. Later, when there was domestic violence for the third time, the police couldn't help but say that they wanted to invite Chenji to the office for tea. Take a few days off. Chenji was crying and making trouble, lying on the ground, foaming at the mouth. Chenji also said that his mother had a heart condition. If someone dies, let these two people lose their jobs. Then it was gone. Officer Sha sneered auntie. You can't double standard. A daughter is not a daughter. Your son is. It's a son. When your son used to beat his daughter. In law, that's not what you say. Chenji was speechless for a while. The face was blue and red. Chenji scolded and said that he would go to the police station to complain. Officer Kai patted Officer Sha and laughed. People are going to complain. Don't go yet. We still have serious work to do. The two officers walked slowly. With a smile on my face, I sent the two policemen away. I looked back at Chenji on the ground. And his wary mom. I lifted my feet and went upstairs. I didn't control it just now. Too indulgent. This will cause sore hands, sore shoulders, and sore legs. Gotta take a coffee break. Not to mention, my body is matched with the strength of this brother. It's not a big deal. You'll have to work out later. Strengthen your fitness and strength. From now on. After the iron incident, Chenzi almost walked around me. But every time I turn my back to him, I can still feel the hatred of gnashing my teeth. I can't stand it. If you can't stand it, you will get divorced. However, at this time, it is not Chenji who mentions divorce. His parents are both officials and businessmen. There's money and power. The family is well off. There is no room for sand in the eyes of his little pet. Don't take a small loss, so he will definitely find out that he can't find it back. Preserve his pitiful dignity. Sure enough, it took about 2 or 3 months. Chenji and his mother are a little relapsed. Walked sideways. There are no detours, either. They don't shy away from me anymore. Chenji sat at the dining table with a big grin. Look at me. Defiantly. Triumphantly. Lit up the taekwondo black belt on his waist. Yo rose black belt. I took the milk and drank it down. Then, you mean, practice? Chenji smiled at me. A mouthful of white teeth is exposed. If you lose, you have to make amends. I almost vomited from the milk I had just drunk. Sure enough, there is no lower limit to this person's shamelessness. I held back my nausea and hooked my hand at him, saying, okay first, if you lose, don't call the police. Chenji moved his neck, hooked the corners of his mouth. It's no problem to be confident and authentic. This time, Chen Zimao was full of strength to be ashamed. A pair of legs, kick left and right. He actually greeted me to the key parts of my body. At first, I was backing down. His eyes lit up with excitement. My good mother-in-law couldn't help but applaud from the sidelines. After figuring out his routine, the system automatically analyzes and disassembles, automatically search for and configure counterattack moves. I'll make a move. Fist to flesh, legs leg to bone. I hit him every time. My good mother-in-law screamed in distress. It's like a horror movie. I really don't want to hear this brainless scream again. Ended the battle as soon as possible. In a hurry. It was supposed to kick him in the head. The last kick was in his mouth. A crisp, clicking sound. His screams came out, but accidentally kicked out his front teeth. I looked at him sympathetically. People want to fight the system. It's still weaker. My mother-in-law was holding her son, whose mouth was full of blood. Tears fell. Why are you so ruthless? My son poured 8 lifetimes of mold. Met this tigress. Then he pointed his finger at me and said, I am going to the Women's Federation to sue you. Lo Xing, you wait. Oh, I am so scared. I trembled with fear. I nodded. Yes, I am waiting for you at will. It's not that the Women's Federation has never been there. Played for a long time. A little thirsty. I poured a glass of water. He went straight upstairs. Haven't arrived at the room yet. I heard my mother-in-law calling the Women's Federation. Angrily. Feed the Women's Federation. My son was subjected to domestic violence. You don't care. Don't call the police. I actually called the Women's Federation. Okay, doesn't count as a foul. Chenji staggered to his feet. Check your own injuries. There's no intention of stopping it. It's really a mommy boy. I remember going to the Women's Federation at least twice. Every time, I will come to the door twice. The eldest sister pulled my mother-in-law bitterly. And, Chenji, to do ideological work. Know the reason. Move with emotion. But it works. Son, you can also say a few words. My mother-in-law put her phone out and turned it on. I got to the wipes that were being used in front of Chenzi, who cleaned up the bloodstains on his face. The Women's Federation said that it was a man. When we look back, we will seriously criticize your daughter-in-law. She hadn't hung up yet. I couldn't help but laugh over there. Women's Federation. Women's Federation. It's a dime to do with a man like you. You are probably looking for a men's league. Ma Bao Chenji angrily dropped the phone, stared viciously at me as I leaned on the railing and drank water. I am walking alone. Chenji covered his mouth with a leaky mouth. Shame, indignation. I pulled out my wallet. Throw 10,000 yuan from upstairs to apologize. When you are done, let's go for a dental prosthesis. My mother-in-law pointed at me and said, don't be too arrogant. When the time comes, my son will divorce you and don't want you. I pouted at Chen Zhenanu. Blinked. He didn't want. Chenji pursed his lips and stared at me. I smiled and threw a kiss at him. When people are in a position of absolute superiority, it is very generous and loving. For example, when Chen Zuo and his mother went to the hospital, I received an email from Yi Ren's cousin. He agreed to my previous request for a refund. But I've already bound it successfully. It is refreshing to use it with this system. How is it possible to return it? I replied to the email in a hurry. Indicates that the binding has been successful. I don't bounce the email. Glancing at his name, there is an inexplicable sense of familiarity, but I can't remember where I've heard it. At this time, I received a call from Yi Ren. We made an appointment at a newly opened Yunnan restaurant. Challenge, the insect feast. As soon as we met, I couldn't wait to show my achievements. I flipped through a few photos at a glance. The flowers and branches of laughter trembled. As a result, I just started eating. I haven't tasted this dazzling array of insects yet. My mother called and came to Xingxi to ask for the guilt. You've been able to endure it, haven't you? I was able to hit someone. Because you, Chen Zi, fired your brother's squid. Do you know or not? I am angry. Who is this Chen Jie? Why can't you fight? Feelings. Even if Chen Ji beat me to death, as long as he is good to you, there was no problem at all, right? He beat me for 2 years. I've only hit him twice. You are all going to make me compromise. Whoever thought about feeling sorry for my Shao Kai? If you don't have a job, you can look for it again. Could it be that our family can't live without Chen Ji? I couldn't help but yell at my phone. It is said that the person closest to you hurts you the most. Growing up, under the banner of being good for me, unscrupulously at the mercy of my life. In the final analysis, it is patriarchal in the bones. This feudal ideology soaked in the bone marrow. When it will be cleaned. He patted me on the shoulder. Take out a tissue and hand it to me, Shishin. After this is over, let's study abroad together. A change of environment is also a good experience. I nodded. Resolutely understands me. I actually wanted to do it. Get out of this suffocating environment early. Before leaving, I have to get the punishment of those who deserve it. Otherwise, I will be haunted by the shadow of this marriage for the rest of my life. I don't want to grit my teeth and meditate on revenge. Read it for a lifetime. I have to fight. Go back in the evening. Chen Jiang's mother and son were waiting for me in the living room. A divorce settlement was placed on the table. I can't stand it. It's only been 2 hits. Don't you want a divorce? Lu Xing is as deep as you wish. Chen Ji slapped the divorce agreement in front of me. I picked up the divorce agreement and looked at it. I didn't get distracted. It kept me out of the house. When I handed Chen Ji the divorce agreement, he didn't even look at it. Directly tore up the confetti and raised my face. I tore it in half after reading it. Throw it in the trash, sneered, and said, I am sorry. I don't want to leave yet. This house was purchased before marriage though. But the cost of the renovation is mine. The furniture is also selected and purchased by me one by one. The most critical thing is, the Sprinkle family hasn't had enough of it. Lu Jixin, don't give face. Don't Lao Tzu has already given you steps. It's you who don't want it. Don't regret it. A calm face with a red and a green tinge. Because the anger is twisted, like a ghost. Looks like he hates me, and can't kill me. Don't be too cool. Where are the steps? Why didn't the Sprinkle family see it? If you take the initiative to file for divorce, you will be called to me steps. I was. Who gave him confidence? People are too narcissistic. It's a disease. If there is a disease, it will be cured. If Chenji wants to divorce, just show sincerity. I can't accept this kind of overlord clause. I'll give you the steps, too. Don't regret it, if you don't want to. My voice just fell. My mother-in-law just patted her thighs and jumped up and pointed at me and scolded. Toast, without eating. The bride price of 600,000 yuan was refunded to us. My son is not so expensive to find a young lady every day. What qualifies a chicken who can't lay eggs to be arrogant? I didn't even give us a child to the old Chen family. If you die in the future, you are not eligible to enter the ancestral grave. Hi at Haomin. It's okay to go to the ring. Auntie scolded. Viciously enough. Success made me clench my fists. I forfeited the first 600,000 dowry. You go to my parents and ask for it. Second, don't you know why I didn't have children? My child was kicked by your son. Third, is your surname Chen? You are married to someone's surname Chen. In the future, his surname will be Chen. Right. Sold yourself. Point 4. I am not interested in your ancestral graves, which are so expensive. I suggest you keep watch every day. It is best to have a golden palm for each grave. Fifth, you can't take care of your mouth anymore. I wouldn't mind throwing away tens of thousands of dollars. Have your son go for a prosthesis. My mother-in-law was trembling with anger. The faces flashed, pointing at me. I was speechless. Chenji didn't care about looking for me. Unhurriedly, finding him blood pressure medicine to take. Since binding, Uncle La, it's so refreshing. Say whatever you want. Don't worry about not being able to beat it at all. It's a pleasure. A month later, I received a summons from the court. As is customary, the court persuaded and did not dissuade the divorce. Out of court mediation is conducted first. It's been more than half a year. Lao Du finally came to this point again. To celebrate my covenant, resolutely went to eat another insect feast. A real warrior. It is a person who dares to challenge the insect feast again and again. Worm. Please give Lao Zu courage. Back in the day, Lao Zu goes to the court. Every time he goes to the court summons, he was immediately hospitalized. This time, there is a fifth uncle. Finally, it doesn't have to be right away. Now as the person who receives the subpoena. As the one who holds the initiative. It's really cool. Don't want it. After a big meal. Tea here is still an uphill battle to be fought next. Except for Chen Ji's mother and son. There are also people in the courts to deal with. And if I am not mistaken, my parents should have come to me these 2 days. Sure enough, my dad called me to come home. Have a meal together. It's clear that this is a feast, historically. Whatever is called the Feast of the Hun Gate. There are reasons why they have to go. I am also going to have to put things to a halt. However, I was thinking too much. The Hongmen banquet in history. At least, a few pieces of meat are still on the table. I went back to my parents' house. Not even saliva. Cold pot. Cold stove. Only my parents waited with black faces. Waiting to fix me. You are almost 30 years old now. After the divorce, I will never find someone with such good conditions as Chen Ji. You have to think about it. My dad let out a long sigh. Your dad was right. Chen Ji is wrong to beat people. But, in the past, there are few men who don't hit women. We talked to Chen Ji. He still has feelings for you. The two of you make a deal. No one is allowed to do anything in the future. How about it? My mother said earnestly. Chen Ji's mother and son came to ask you for the original 600,000. The bride price came. It was my mother who lowered her head weakly. The money was already used for your brother to buy a house and make a down payment. After buying the house and renovating it, where does the family get the money now? My dad sighed again. Bewildered. Actually, you are looking for the wrong person. Mom and dad's divorce this time was not mentioned by me. It's Chen Ji. He doesn't want to live with me. I don't want to leave. Don't be deceived by Chen Ji's mother and son. You can see what the bride price is. We've been married for almost 3 years. At this time, the bride price is also raised. Ridiculous and not ridiculous. My parents' eyes lit up. They glanced at each other. They've come up with a solution. Cope with my parents. After a few days, I started to deal with the people of the court again. I made it clear that I didn't want a divorce. So, Chenji's mother and son are the main targets of their strategy. Now Chenji and I are tired of each other. Chenji's mother asked me to move back to my parents' house. Don't be an eyesore here. You let the sprinklers go. Sprinkle the house and leave. Sprinkle the family and don't leave. Who knew that Chenji's mother and son actually started to make a commotion? Shouted Chen Z. Two cousins with Chen Z. To throw my luggage out. I had to move my hands and feet. Let's fight. I checked the camera at home before I started. Make sure the whole process is recorded. This battle is worth remembering. Anyway, I haven't done it for a month or two. It's all rusting. Itchy hands that hold iron every day. Uncle Lu's combat effectiveness is really good. With one enemy and three still have the upper hand. The battle scenes are comparable to martial arts movies in the 80s of the last century. All three men had blue noses and swollen faces. I had a slight scraping, except for a little bit of it. Everything else is good. It was in this battle. Chenji's lost few teeth. I was knocked to the ground by my left and right hooks. One of his cousins was going to run out and call someone. I was swept to the ground with one leg and fell to the ground. The other one was completely frightened. Loss of combat effectiveness. In the end, Chenji called the police. The police take a look at the monitoring. Can't help but give me a thumbs up. Kung Fu is really good. It's not much worse than a criminal policeman. 1 against 3. Awesome. Chenji and his two brothers called a car. We helped each other to go to the hospital. I am justifiably defending. None of them constitute personal injury. You don't have to pay a penny for medical expenses. When Chenzi snorted and cried. When I was complained to the police were a little embarrassed. It's a family affair after all. We can't get involved. Out of the police station. I smiled and thanked Chenji with a hand. Angry. He went back to taking blood pressure medicine. After this conflict, the court saw that the mediation had not been completed. On the day of the trial, the judge asked Chenji if he would like a divorce. Chenji is categorical and willing. When the judge asked me if I agreed to the divorce, I categorically disagree. I still have feelings for Mr. Chen. I don't agree to a divorce. Then, he turned his head and said to Chenju in the gentlest tone, my husband begged you for a divorce before. You said that you can't live this life until you die. Why do you have to get a divorce now? But now the Sprinkler family is reluctant. I don't see you for a day. The Sprinkler family is suffocated. The Sprinkle family doesn't want to leave. Chenji pointed at me like crazy and shouted at the judge. Judge, he's pretending. Don't believe him. You heard it too. He begged me to leave. Now I say I don't want to leave. It's because he's addicted to beating me. You hear me? Then, Chenji submitted what they collected. Evidence to prove that I committed domestic violence against Chenji. And I also provided the camera at home. Chenji's 3 brothers. I also have my records and alarm records. I'm just waiting for you to get the evidence. Then, let's compare. Resolutely, also stood up from the witness stand. Brought what he had collected. Evidence of Chenji's previous domestic violence. Submitted to the court. Video by video. A photo. They are also live again and again. The hospital records, diagnosis, certificates, and injury evaluations are shocking. Chenji's injuries are nothing compared to them. The jury sighed. Even the judge's eyes were unfriendly when he looked at Chenji. Mom and dad and the brother in the audience. Rare red circles under the eyes. Chenji's mother and son originally regarded themselves as victims. See this situation. All of a sudden, I lost my confidence. I looked at Chenji. Move your hands and feet. Chenji has been completely scared by me. Now I have a mouthful of dentures. Conditioned reflexes are formed. When I saw me, I moved my hands and feet. I subconsciously covered my mouth. I pinched my fingers one by one. Click, 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 click. Songji's face was colorless, crazy, yelling for a divorce. I want a divorce. Because I was too excited. A denture fell out, fell to the ground. It's a mess of him. The court had to be adjourned again because it involves domestic violence. Our divorce case was covered by the media. It's on the hot search. The top 3 hot searches on the internet on the day of the second court session were: when confronted with domestic violence, the best way is to call back and get a divorce. The domestic violence man's winter is alone and mighty. After being sentenced to divorce, Chenji doesn't give up. I went to my parents again to ask for the bride price. My mom revealed her true face as a shrew. 2 old women are arguing with each other. Refers to Sang scolding Huai. In the end, there was a big fight. Each of them hungs a lottery. The matter has never been settled. My brother was expecting to apologize to Chen Ji. Back to your previous job. After this, there is no hope. Alan Sheng submits his resume on the job search website. Chen Ji's company was affected by the divorce lawsuit. The stock price plummeted. The board of directors dismissed him as a director. The job is also gone. I fought a divorce lawsuit with Chen Ji for 1 year. In the end, the court granted the divorce. Property is divided equally after marriage. Chen Ji also needs to pay me an additional amount of compensation. Even so, Chen Ji was still crying with joy when he heard the verdict. It seems to be the aftermath of the catastrophe. Hey, I knew what it was today. It must have been. If you agreed to divorce a long time ago, you won't play. People can only stand on the ground, in order to have a deep understanding of the pain of others. It's always like scratching your boots. Out of the courthouse, I looked up at the sky. Cloudless, balmy autumn day. I took a deep breath. That's nice. I can finally live without suffocation. Thank you, Uncle Lo. Thank you, system. Half a year later, I studied abroad with Yiren. Arrived in the country where cousin Yiran was. New environment, a new life. A new life. When you arrive at the airport, a tall and handsome man hailed me and resolutely walked over. Resolutely waved his hand happily and called his brother. I was about to introduce me to him. He waved his hand. He smiled at me. Do you remember me? I am easy. Easy to walk and easy to get fat. Easy to be fat. My eyes lit up. This is not my junior high school classmate. Is a science genius easy to get fat? Although the eyebrows and eyes have not changed much. But it's too handsome now. If he doesn't say it, I didn't think about it at all. He's the cute little tablemate I was back then. Yai Xing heard me call his childhood nickname. Some helplessly helped me. You know. Yai Ran's eyes widened. The face is incredible. Look at the world. So small. That's what you gave the nickname Single. Do you remember who makes you always not fat? I'll use the right tricks in the countryside. Call you fat. Thinking about shouting more. You'll be fat. Yai Ren and Yai Xing, the two siblings, listened with black lines on their faces. Easy to get fat, and easy to do. Mr. Yi. Thank you for developing the system. I love it. Can you bind a few more heroes? Yi Ren smiled and said. You are still bound. Addicted to Lu. Zishan. Not enough. Not enough. Not enough. Uncle Lu was too rude. I want to bind Ling Deyu or something to play. Goff and Yai Ren couldn't help but laugh. Are you sure you want to bind Ling Deyu? It doesn't match your art style. My hairs are standing on end. Ha! Are you sure it's a girlfriend? I pinched the soft flesh around Yeran's waist. She couldn't breathe with laughter. Call for surrender. I decided, in the future, it will be mixed with this system. Hey, brother, bind me to an experiential experience as well. Bind him to a house Anyang. Mine was changed to Seoul Anyang. Okay, no problem. The group smiled and pulled through our suitcases. End of the full text. I hope you are happy every day.